The lack of communication is almost always what contributes to and leads up to the breakdown of a relationship with an avoidant. Whether it's an abrupt blindsiding discard or a slow fade out, this is a person that is not communicating with you. This goes back to childhood. Avoidants experienced emotional neglect as children. If they're a fearful avoidant, they also experienced chaos too, but there was still emotional neglect. Their feelings were routinely dismissed, if not outright rejected. The message was sent, your feelings aren't welcome here. If they expressed emotion, especially negative emotion, it was dismissed, perhaps even reprimanded. So what they learned is that communicating about their feelings, their fears, their anxiety, their worries, it leads to rejection and abandonment. So what they do is they stuff it. They bottle it up. Fast forward to being an adult. They're in a romantic relationship with you. Now there's something happening that's worrying them, concerning them, something that's triggering their fears. They're not communicating with you. They are not telling you what's going on until it's too late, when they abruptly end the relationship, or when they just begin to slowly fade out. But every time you ask them if everything's okay, they tell you everything's just fine, I'm just busy with work right now, etc., etc. You don't get communicated with. And if they actually communicated their fears, their feelings, their concerns, their emotions in general, the relationship very well could be saved, but they never give their partner the opportunity to do so. And when they're pressed about their emotions, they just clam up. They just can't get themselves to speak. They stonewall. They get overwhelmed and just shut down. Expressing emotions is so incredibly difficult for them. It has such a deep association with rejection and abandonment. So they'll let the relationship just completely end rather than actually communicate their feelings or fears. In a longer-term relationship with an avoidant, they may be noticing something that their partner is doing that they don't like, something that bothers them, or maybe there's a need of theirs that's not being met, but they don't tell this person. Perhaps they don't even say a word about it. At best, they make very indirect hints about the issue, but never directly communicating about the issue or how important it is to them. This leads to resentment over time, which can also lead to an abrupt ending of the relationship and still blindside the other person. It's not blindsiding to the avoidant. They've been having these fears and feelings, but they never communicated it. The lack of communication is really at the core of failed relationships when it comes to avoidance. When they learn to force themselves to start communicating, to open up to their partner, to express their concerns and hold boundaries, they can find that relationships actually can be saved. They can be worked through, and the other person has the opportunity to know what's going on, understand their concerns, and maybe make any adjustments if necessary. But without that communication, the relationship is almost certainly heading towards the cliff. It's impossible to maintain a long-term relationship when there is no communication about important matters. And that's why avoidants really struggle to maintain long-term healthy relationships.